Hello, Uganda. Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Hotseat on 933 KFM. I welcome your listeners across this beautiful country, the Pearl of Africa. My name is Patrick Kamara. Tonight, we'll shed a light on matters of politics, Journey 2026, because aspiring candidates have started to pick nomination forms from different parties, but now we are focusing on NRM. And we have the aspiring candidate who is still the incumbent for Clark North, joining us online, the Honorable Anthony Akol. Thank you so much for joining us, Anthony. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Patrick Kamara. Good evening, listeners. I really thank you very much for giving me listening to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Anthony Akol, today I saw a vivid image of you. I saw you and I heard you. Vivid, I'm saying, clad in a bright yellow garment of the NRA paraphernalia. That, it took a moment for me to really sink in, to understand that for sure, Anthony Akol has moved away officially from the Forum for Democratic Change to NRM. What a Damascus turnaround.
I think you enjoyed seeing me on yellow for the first time. It looks like you had never seen me on yellow.
Oh, for sure I did.
But as a matter of fact, I joined NRM party on the 15th of February in a function in my constituency in Pabo Town Council.
Okay.
And the midwife was the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament of Uganda. After that, then I had time to meet the President of the Republic of Uganda in State House. And from that time to date, we've had several meetings, including another meeting on 13th of this month. So the journey started in February, and what you saw today is a continuation of the journey that started in February.
So what you are telling Ugandans and listeners of the Hotseat is that the Honorable Anthony Akol was mobilized from the highest end of the party. The chairman of the party was involved. The speaker of the house was involved. So somebody to mobilize you. You are not mobilized by lower cadre, but the topmost.
Actually, to be straight and to make the facts very clear, the person who started this discussion was the late Right Honorable Jacob Olanya. Before he died, he had already talked to me, and he told me, you are really a good leader. I really need you to be in NRM. And he said, you're doing good work, but you're dancing from the periphery. Come openly and be, dance in the middle of the ground, where you can properly be seen. So it was also owning me that somebody who talked to me about joining NRM passed away. And if you saw me during his campaign, I was really a very close person to him. So, it's not easy sometimes to fight with the person who has departed. So as the discussion was going on, each time it was ringing in my mind that I shouldn't betray this person who has died.
Okay,
so
it is very intriguing to note that you spent most of your political life, the little that we know, on the other side of the aisle, hounding NRM, criticizing NRM, picking out whatever they're not doing right. That's why at the beginning I was using the biblical analogy of Saul who became Paul. So on your Damascus road, you turned around. But really, what was the real deal that made you to turn around on that political Damascus road?
Patrick Kamara, the name you are talking about was first given to me by the President of the Republic of Uganda. Actually, he told me I should change my name to Akol Anthony Paul. and I have not gone to court to change it. So I still call Anthony Akol without the name Paul.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
The matter. So you talking like a prophet.
But you see, Saul in the Bible was a tormentor of Christians, and then he turned to become Paulo or Paul to now become the evangelist of the Christian gospel. I'm wondering, at the moment, during those days, your words were stinging. You are vicious in your criticism, but also you are not just talking out of the blue. You had your facts and your figures. You knew what you're talking about. I'm sorry if I can say, they almost looked like a devil, but now, as if Honorable Anthony Akol has decided to dine with the devil.
Patrick Kamara, the difference between me and Saul, who turned to be Paul, is that for me, what we did, all those facts which were really making me to be in opposition, I raised them to the President of the Republic of Uganda. We had a team appointed by the President, 11 of them, headed by General David Muhoozi, and there were 11 in number, and we had a discussion that started in September last year, and then that is part of what made me to change to NRA. Because all the issues which made me to be in opposition, the government accepted that it will be addressed, and we are putting them in terms of agreement, which will be signed. The question that comes to your mind is, for a long time, people have been complaining that President Yoweri Museveni is a person that will not follow through. But we say, it is better we have it in black and white. If he has not implemented the short-term, the medium-term, and the long-term issues that we have raised, which are written down in black and white, then any other government will come and implement, because he will be signing as the President of the Republic of Uganda. Among the issues are, one, the animal compensation for the people of northern Uganda, especially at Johnny Africa. We demanded from government that every year they should put 200 billion for compensation until the payment is done. Two, we talked about the poverty level. It is really very bad that the figure is so alarming that the Uganda Bureau of Statistics will tell you 68% of our people actually sufficient are poor. But the World Bank will tell you it is 72% of our people are poor. And that ideally means when you get 100 Acholis, 72 of them are poor. And we are talking about extreme poverty, where food is difficult to get, housing is a problem, they sleep in grass thatch houses, whereby they can't pay their children in school, whereby if there are sicknesses where there is no medicine in the government hospital, they can't go to private hospitals. That is the situation. And we say it is unfair for government to give equal treatment to people who are in intensive care unit, ICU. You're giving 100 million per parish to a parish in Acholi sub-region, the same amount to Bushenyi, where the guideline given by the Minister of Local Government, the LCPF chairman of Bushenyi told me one time they failed to get the people. Because the guideline for PDM was, one, the person should be in the grass thatch house, not in Mabati house. Two, the person shouldn't be with sofa set chairs in this house, his or her house. Three, there shouldn't be people sleeping in mattresses. Should be somebody sleeping in maybe hides and skins or in papyrus mat. And they are not there in Bushenyi. They had to change the guideline for them. Now we say, give more resources for areas that is extremely poor. And also, at the time when people were dividing administrative units, Northern Uganda was actually in the issue of war. Nobody was thinking about administrative units. So you find a parish in Acholi sub-region is bigger than a district in Western Uganda.
So if you can pause there, Honorable Anthony Akol, you've been very elaborate on what you're telling us. Are you telling us that as a member of parliament of your caliber, you cannot cause the government to be able to give a service to your people? That can only happen by doing it as a favor because you have joined them?
Patrick Kamara, I wish you were asking that question when you are not a Ugandan. If you were on BBC, I would understand you. The situation in the country, we've been talking and talking.
Anthony Akol, I am talking something that is supposed to be just. I am talking something that's supposed to be fair. I am talking something that the people of Uganda, they deserve better getting a service delivery no matter which kind of party they are in, because there's a government in power that is representing all.
Patrick Kamara, what I'm trying to tell you is there is more of informal method of doing things in Uganda than the formal method. Whatever you like it, you don't like it, that is in practice. What we are talking about is theory. There is a lot of negotiation going behind the scenes. What I talk is what I brought on the floor of Parliament several times, and it has never been implemented. But now this is a situation where we are signing agreements. The government has said, yes, we have listened to you. Instead of PDM going to the parishes, you've been complaining about actually sub-region only, but the poverty is West Nile, actually Lango, Karamoja is the worst place. The area I'm talking about, I'm the chairperson of West Nile, actually Lango, Karamoja. It's called WOC. It is the contribution we are giving to this country is poverty. And therefore the government said, no, don't negotiate for actually, let it be for all these WOC areas. We are going to take Paris development model to the villages and under the LC1 level. These are the kind of expression and what we are talking about. We raise the issue about APA. If you talk about APA in the country, sometime in Parliament of Uganda, people call me APA. We have really tried all our best to sort out this problem. Commission inquiry, judiciary commission inquiry was put in place, nothing was done. The Jacob Olanya, may he still rest in peace. A committee was put in place. Presidential commission was put in place. 2 cases are in the court of law, in the High Court of Kulu. All this is not working at all. We are saying this is part of what we have signed. We are going to sign as a document signed with the government. And the method of dealing with it is now clear.
So before we take a quick break, Honorable Anthony Akol, is this the case of if you can't beat them, you join them?
You are a very bright man, I know. And that's why you are talking the right thing. You have to play the game, because as we talk now, I mean, by force you can't do anything now. Whatever noise you make cannot change. Can I ask you, when we are in opposition, the major issue is that we are government in waiting. Can you predict now, Patrick Kamara, when is FTC going to be in power?
I can't, but hold on to your point, Honorable Anthony Akol. We are going to take a very quick break. When we come back, we shall be joined. Listen to this, sir. When we come back, we shall be joined by Senior Presidential Advisor, Mr. Moses Byarhanga. You stay online as well. We will be joined by Mr. Moses Byarhanga. He's just joined us now. I could see the smile on his face. No. Well, I don't know, but that's how I interpreted it. I don't know whether you're watching on your phone. But we're going to be joined by Moses Byarhanga, and we'll continue this discussion. We shall be right back. Welcome back to 933 KFM, and this is the Hot Seat. My name is Patrick Kamara. My guests are 2. I have one online, the Honorable Anthony Akol, Member of Parliament representing Clark North. He has now crossed the aisle from FDC and has picked the nomination forms for the primaries of NRA. So he's going to be contesting to try to defend his seat on the NRM ticket in Clark North. And now we have in the studio Senior Presidential Advisor, Mr. Moses Byarhanga. Mr. Moses Byarhanga, thank you so much for joining us. You just came in when you phoned me. I was having a one-on-one with Honorable Akol online. You've heard a few things about him as a Senior Presidential Advisor. You should be happy to hear something like this.
Yeah, good evening, Patrick, Honorable Akol, or there online, and our listeners around the country, or even in the world, for those who could be online. So yes, it's pleasing to see Honorable Akol great work with us in the government, in the NRM. That's good. We have been advocating for that for a long time, so I'm happy that Honorable Akol and others, he's not alone, have agreed to work with NRM. That's to strengthen the NRM in the whole country, not only in northern Uganda.
It must have been, what did it take for you to convince this gentle giant, a friend of mine, whom was really spitting fire from FDC, to actually see the light on the perspective of NRM? What did it take about this?
A serious politician like Akol or others they look at serious issues. So who is supposed or who is likely to help you? Because a leader is supposed to understand the problems affecting society and look for solutions affecting who has the solutions to those problems. So I'm sure people like Akol and others along the way they've seen that NRA, after all, you might have disagreed with it, but it's always ready to work with you to solve the problems of the people. I had him earlier when I was driving in. I was listening on radio. So they have had several meetings among themselves. They have had even the one they had with the president some time back. I was in that meeting myself in Entebbe. So it's a decision not imposed upon them, but which there has been discussions.
Okay.
And I'm sure they have also been saying that NRA means well for everybody. They can only come to improve on it. For instance, when I was coming in, he was talking about PDM. Yes, it's true. If you look at northern Uganda and some other parts of eastern Uganda, the poverty levels are higher than the rest. But notwithstanding, when we started the PDM, we said every parish at the time will get an equal amount of money. There have been debates, like he's saying yes, but in northern Uganda, if you look at the people outside the money economy are much more than the rest of the country. But also, if you come to a place like Kampala, today I was meeting some people from leaders from Maki India division, where this radio is stationed. They were telling me, in Kampala, the argument has been, when you look at a parish in Kampala, it might be as big as a sub-county in the rest of the country. So there are those issues of disparity, but we had to have a common position first. You start. Because Kampala has 100 parishes, receiving about 10 billion every year. But Bukedea has 150 parishes, receiving 15 billion. Kakumiro has about 140 parishes, something like that, receiving over. So those are smaller.
But the population in those parishes are not similar.
Different.
Kampala is densely populated.
Kampala, the district is getting 10 billion, and Bukedea are getting 15, or Kakumiro getting 13, or something like that. You can say there's unfairness, yes, but we have to start a starting point. So like now, in the case of, but now we are trying to sort of, and the president has been mentioning it, that where the population is higher, we could give them more, but we had a base to start.
Okay.
And it's good we started. And in the case of northern Uganda, the population density is not as big, but the poverty levels are much higher. So in the new NUSA 4 program, which has been designed, and already I was involved at the government level in discussing that program, we basically agreed that it should focus more on income generation programs as opposed to social issues. Like last time you had NUSAF doing a lot of building health center 3s and so on and so forth, building sub-county headquarters, doing some roads and so forth. So we're saying, no, focus more, let 90% or so focus on income generation. So this is going to be in addition to what is already doing. It's a good thing that the World Bank has already approved the loan. I'm sure now we're working backwards to see after the World Bank board has already approved. Then the question is working backwards for the implementation measures. Of course, you'll go to Parliament for approval as a procedure, but this is aimed at targeting household income. So basically, we will be finding that in northern Uganda, that is from West Nile inclusive, Lango inclusive, Acholi inclusive, and maybe Teso, is that instead of 100 people per parish under PDM or socio-economic programs, it will be much more, maybe 200 or 300, something like that. So that it is affirmative action is meant to help them catch up.
Let me get back to thank you. Let me get back to Honorable Anthony Akol. I hope you're still with us, sir. Honorable Akol, can you hear me?
I am getting you, and let me first of all appreciate the Senior Presidential Advisor, Moses. Thank you very much for this evening.
Thank you.
I totally agree with him that we all looked at the way we could, solve the problem jointly with the government. And that is why the operation we were doing, it is called Operation Harmony. And I think I am happy to tell you that many sub-regions have started the same process. The Basoga also wanted Operation Harmony. Lango sub-region went for the same. And West Nile went for the same. This country is bigger and we can share it together so long as we can talk and listen to each other. The problem comes in when people don't want to talk and then it comes to violence. That is the problem. And the history of this country is bad. And what we have started from Acholi sub-region, we wish to really advise the rest of the country to think about it, including central Uganda. Then we share the country together and we live in harmony.
So
harmony is the way to go.
A politician of your caliber, sir, who has spent a lot of time on the other side of the aisle, I hope the words you spoke were soft and tender, because when you go back to Kilak North and time comes to swallow your own words, with all respect, Honorable Akol, you won't choke on your own words.
No, the people are happy for what we are doing. Because I've been asking them a question. If being in opposition was a solution to our problems, why is it that in the areas where the opposition we are poor, and some other areas where people in NRA are doing better? So that means the solution is not the noise we make, because the noise we make is ending nowhere. Nobody takes you seriously. We've been raising these issues a lot, but now we've gotten another point. It is not the possible way of dealing with issues, but the harmony is the way to do. And that is why the people are understanding me and they're very happy. Actually, the ground is fertile. The land in Amur is fertile. So the ground is also fertile for me now as I talk with you.
So let me also comment on that question. You see, Honorable Akol and others have not been have been with the people in Acholi and their constituencies, and they have been talking about issues affecting their communities. Now, they also realize, as I said earlier, that the government is willing to work with them to solve those problems. So, to the people of Acholi, to the people of Amur, as far as the Anthony Akol is concerned, he's offering solutions to the problems he already know. So they should. That's why I said they appreciate the line he has taken. They always said, you are going alone. It is not for his personal benefit. It is for the benefit of the community. That because I have been listening to Akol for some time, and in reading about what he has said in the parliament and the other fora, just basically talking about the problems affecting the people of Acholi. So, if there is a partner you can work with to solve those problems, it is not Akol benefiting as an individual, it's the people of Acholi benefiting as an individual. And the NRM government has always been open to consultations, to talks with anybody, as long as the target is helping our communities where we live. So whether it is the West Nile, whether it is Acholi, whether it is Lango, the NRM government has been working with everybody to ensure that we work together for the benefit of the country. Now, take for instance, and sometimes it helps, like he said earlier, you can be in opposition and talk, people go elect you again and you talk, but at the end of the day, you want employment for your people. You want ABCD, jobs and so forth. You want people to get a market. Now, government is for everybody, yes. The role of parliament or a parliamentarian is a link between the people and the government. Yes, the government might also say, but why don't you go and do it yourself directly? But it is easier when the member of parliament is raising these issues with you directly.
So does that mean you sometimes have to punish them because they are not in NRM?
I said not punish them. I said it is much easier. You mark my words. It is easier when somebody says, but in our area, we don't have, why don't we do this? For instance, when the caucus is discussing, even now in my manifesto, we are already working on another manifesto. somebody would say, but no, in this manifesto, we haven't included this part of our country or our issue, or people have this issue. Why don't we include it as well? Okay. So that means you're not working for yourself, but you're working for your people, together with those in government.
Gentlemen, hold on to your points. We want to take a very quick break, and when we come back, I want to ask you, Honorable Anthony Akol, are you prepared to face the NRM primaries? Because there are people who have been there for years, fighting, working hard for the NRM, sacrificing, putting in their money. They look at you at, hey, look at this Johnny Paul come lately. Are you sure they will give you the flag? We'll be right back. Okay. Welcome back to 933 KFM, and this is the Hot Seat. My name is Patrick Amar. My guest in the studio, I have Mr. Moses Biaruhanga, Senior Presidential Advisor. And joining us online is the Clark North Member of Parliament, Honorable Anthony Akol, who is now crossing the aisle to join the NRM. He's picked the papers for the primary contest for the North Clark constituency. And before we took a break, Honorable, I was asking, with a lot of respect, that I can imagine there have been people in Clark North who have been working hard for the NRM, putting in their time, putting in their money. They have sacrificed, and perhaps maybe they also wanted to represent the constituency. And here they see you, the person who was on the other side joining them. They will be looking at you as a Johnny come lately, and perhaps you're going to face a monumental challenge.
Yeah, before that, Moses talked about what we were pushing for as leaders from Acholi sub-region. It wasn't really personal issues. And I want to give example to you that last week we had a visit in Kapeka Industrial Park, because one of the issues we have raised is about the job creation for our youth. And I give you example, we found that 34 industry were in Kapeka. And one industry only, the one that is making tiles in the country, employs 1,200 workers, over 1,200 workers. Now, we, in one of the issues that we put forward, we have given part of Ashwa Ranch, which is about 5 kilometers square for industrial park. Such issues are the issues we've been pushing for, and because of that, the people on the ground are really understanding us. It is true at the beginning, many people were saying these are people who just come in NRA. But we'll be able to tell them that the people who started NRM were only 27. And the whole thing started from the mind of one person, that is President Yoweri Museveni. You know, whatever we have in this world, even the radio station we are talking about, the chairs you are sitting on, the phone we are talking with, it always starts with the mind of one person. And then the rest followed him. They were 27. I don't know, maybe Moses will correct me, maybe about 4 of them are alive. And I told them, if it is said that those who join NRM to go away and leave NRM, there will be only 4 people in the country in NRM. Or not even in the country, because the president of Rwanda is part of them. So people are understanding this message, and the gospel is spreading. And as I told you, they have embraced my coming in. It is true at the beginning there was a lot of propaganda. Some people said we were bought. Some people are saying 500 million. Others were saying 1 billion shillings. But they have realized, no, that is not true, because I don't have the money. If anything, I need people to raise money for me for the campaign, because when we're in opposition, our campaign were very cheap. You know, when you talk a lot and you raise this complaint and the challenges in the government, when people see it, they don't mind about your money. Now you're in government, people think you have money, and a lot of resources is needed. But as I told you, Amuru land is fertile, and the ground is fertile for me, and there's all hope. As for now, I am the only person who has paid nomination fee, and I'm the only person who has picked the nomination papers. But there are still days. I don't know whether some people will come, but if they come, there's no problem. I have no worry. Count on me. I will win this primary election. I know it has happened before. Like in the 10th Parliament, we used to have Honorable Atiko Bernard, who crossed NRM towards the end of the term and went for a primary election. He was defeated, and he went as in independent. He was defeated, and many people were worried about me. No, it will happen like the one of Honorable Hotseat Bernard. But I tell you, the ground is fertile. There is no worry. There is hope. I will come back to Parliament of the Republic of Uganda. And then push for the agenda of our people of Acholi, Lango, Karamoja, and the West Nile. But at the same time, as a nation, because as a leader, you don't work for only your sub-region. And I think this is something that Ugandans have to think about. The background we have come from and where the country has reached, we need to have Operation Harmony. Okay. And you should borrow the idea from us, and it will be good to consult. We are here. We can talk to you and tell you, because we've been there. We've been in opposition. And there is no hope that you can change the country by being in opposition.
All right, hold on to a point there.
And talk.
Yes, Honorable Akol, hold on to a point there. It's very interesting to see you were a political scientist, but it appears now the politics are crystallizing in a certain manner that is very interesting to see people like Akol, people like Kagabo, and I'm sure maybe others are joining NRM. When we thought at a time when NRM is going to get really a run or serious beating, well, it's not yet over until it's over, but if what we see is some kind of a dress rehearsal of what is likely to happen, I think you guys in NRM have worked harder this time around.
Well, first of all, Uganda is for all of us. It's not for those in government or those in the ruling party. It's for all of us. Even when one is in opposition, it's good to give constructive criticism. Not those who say again, go. That's what you hear the criticism. But if you are criticizing, as I said earlier, that no, this should be done like this, we should do ABCD for the national interest. That's good. That's good. That's why it's easier to work with people like Akol who have been doing like that. That's why when you are saying, won't Akol follow his own words? No, he doesn't have to follow any word, because what he was speaking for the people of Acholi, and he continued speaking for the people of Acholi in terms of better welfare, better socio-economic development for his region. So to me, he's in the right place now. We shall work together more closely to ensure that we achieve what we want to achieve, working together than somebody opposing you. Because some people in opposition, they make mistakes. Like here, I've been following up a Myoga in Kampala. Kampala received about 18 billion under Myoga. There were 566 circles, Myoga circles. So I carried out a verification exercise working together with the Microfinance Support Center, the office of the RDCs, my office. We put officers attached to the team. We went around. We found out of 566 circles, only 303 are ready to give it more money, while 263 they are dead. That's about 47%. Then you understand, but does Kampala have MPs? What is their role? What are they? Because this is a matter affecting their society they are living in. We have seen how Honorable Akol talking about PDM. You see that somebody is focused on his people, but this one in Kampala, they're quiet. They're there, but they think for them they want to go back to be elected over what? Because if somebody, and in fact I was telling people, I was meeting over this Myoga, said, I'm now your MP in Kampala because I'm now linking you with the government directly because your area MP they are silent. So to me that's fine. Secondly,
are they Akol and Kagabo fruits of your effort?
No. It is an NRM effort. It's an NRM effort. As I told you, that Operation Harmony was involving so many people, which is going about. They kept discussing among themselves, here and there, criticizing and so forth. But what I like about it, they were looking at national interests affecting their society. How does their society be part of the bigger national cake in terms of working together, addressing the challenges affecting their people? To me, that's more important. That's what I'm saying now. Here in Kampala, you have no MPs, but nobody is raising the issues affecting the people of Kampala. Nobody is raising them in Parliament or in any other fora. They will tell you NRM is bad. NRM is bad. But what are you doing? What are you going to do if you became a leader tomorrow at another level in lead of government? Because your leaders already being parliamentary leader, but you are not in charge of the entire government. Now, the other thing is, you see, we asked Akol a question that what about those NRM people whom have been on the other side against him? What about now? My advice to the NRM people is to accept the new entrants in NRM. In NRM, there's no one who is senior than the other. It's like in the Bible, we're all equal before God. So in NRM, the right message is that we're all equal in NRM. If Akol joined in February or last year, and Welcom has been there for the last 30 or so years, we're all equal in NRM. In fact, I remember the time I had the meeting with the late Kategaya, I think in 1994. I was already working with the president. We had the MPs from TESO complaining that during CA...
You have worked in State House since 1994.
I said I was already working, so that means it was before 94.
Okay. Hey, oh my God. Okay.
So these people were raising an issue, and this is good for Akol. They were raising an issue and saying, "Oh, you people, you know that time UPA, Uganda People's Army, had been vanquished. Some had surrendered, some had joined government." And some, when they went to election, they became members of CA. Now, the MPs then, the NRC members, they were telling the late category that for us who have been in NRM before, but the people who have come and joined, who have been even fighting on the other side under UPA, they are now getting some positions. Like now, last time, Musa Echweru was an assistant at DC. He had joined us around 1993. Or thereabout.
Okay.
So it's not about 94. So he had joined us early in 1993, and we had worked with him. He was the deputy at DC. So they were raising those issues. Then later Kadega told them, said, look here, under in NRM, he was 002, next to
the president
001. But he said, now Kaziwe is a vice president. We found
more like the biblical prodigal son when he came and the people were celebrating more.
Yeah, we found her here, but she's now vice president. I salute her. Then she said that time later Debo was the prime minister. He said that Debo was the prime minister. He wasn't with us in the bush, but he's the prime minister. So for us in NRM, the issue was inclusivity, bring everybody on board. Now the issue of there's nobody who is senior to the other. Somebody can join tomorrow and be vice president, and you are not. So that's the message I would give to my brothers and sisters in Acholi. I have many friends from Acholi. The chairman, Agago, Leonardo Pio, who was my roommate at Makerere. So I have a lot of links there. So the message should be, anybody coming in on NRM is as welcome. There's nobody who is senior than the other. At any one moment, we are all equal.
Okay.
In NRM.
Somebody has said...
and like you mentioned the son of the prodigal son, when Jesus was asked, he said, although he had all these other sheep behind him, he said, I want also the other one.
Okay.
To join us.
You know, somebody has sent a question here. His name is also called Patrick. And he says, should every member of opposition sign an agreement with the president to have their district issues sorted? How many memorandum of understandings or agreements will the president sign? Then what's the value of decentralization, which is a constitution deliverable? How would you respond to that, Honorable Akol?
Maybe let me answer it.
You have your time, because he's the one who is the one who is in charge, needs the Operation Harmony.
Okay.
Hello, Honorable.
I think your name, Sheikh Patrick, should know that actually sub-region has a special problem. You can only compare actually sub-region to Luero Triangle, but also in terms of the suffering and the period of the war, Luero suffered for 5 years when actually sub-region suffered for over 20 years. So the issues there is much more advanced than what is reducing it to district. We are talking about a sub-region with about 9 administrative units, which has suffered the war and no proper rehabilitation has taken place. So it's not just a district, and it should mark that difference. But all in all, when we are talking about Operation Harmony, we are talking about solution-oriented leadership. Instead of complaining all the time and raising the problems only, you as a leader should look at what is the solution to these problems that we are facing as leaders. And that is what we are doing for our people, and that is solution-oriented leadership that we are bringing to the country. And I think that's the same problem or the same issue to those who are in NUP, to those who are in different parties in the country. That is the way to go. We should come back on the negotiation table and come out with a solution-oriented leadership. If the problem is lack of medicine in the hospital, what do you advise the government to do? What should be done to make sure that problem is solved? If the problem is poverty, what do you bring on table as a way of solving the problem of poverty in the country? If the problem is a poor performance in primary schools, what are you bringing on table to the government and saying that this is the way to go? Because if you're supposed to wait until you have taken the government, the people will continue to suffer. And then you are lagging behind when the other parts of the country is developing. And that is what brought us on the table. But also above all, you know, for us in Acholi sub-region, and especially the Luo culture, when somebody has apologized, you can now negotiate, you can do a ritual called Madofut, a reconciliation. When President Yoweri Museveni went to Acholi sub-region in September 2023, at a prayer that was organized by his daughter in Kaunda ground, he apologized to the Acholi people and said, "You people, forgive me for the suffering that your people have gone through, for the death that has happened in this sub-region and the poverty. It might have not been my own making. It could have happened because of the people I've sent here, but I take full responsibility." And that in our culture is enough for you to sit on the table and start talking, and you can work together with such a party. And this is part of the reason why we are in Operation Harmony, and I think that is a better solution for the country. So to Patrick, your namesake, it is not a normal business in Acholi sub-region compared to other sub-regions. By the way, if you don't develop Acholi sub-region, then the level of poverty in the country will continue. Not only Acholi, West Nile, Acholi, Lao, and Karamoja. It is like a part of the body. When your toe is paining, don't think the head is okay. Don't think your hand is okay. The pain goes to all parts of the body. And that is the way we want to solve out the issue of Acholi sub-region, Lango sub-region, West Nile, and Karamoja. And the country will develop equally. In development principle, we say you should not leave part of, other areas undeveloped. You should make sure you develop holistically. And that is the issue why we are on table and trying to work together with the government to make sure that we improve the lives of the people. And that is very key.
I'm sure your former political colleague, retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besje, who is in jail, I'm sure he's also getting this news. It must be really hitting him hard. What would you tell him in a statement like this if you had to see him?
Where we have reached as a country, look at the background of the country, I think Operation Harmony is the way to go.
And also, our time is out. In 1 minute, what's going to be your concluding remark on Akol before I come back to Moses?
My concluding remark to the citizens and the country at large is that this country is enough for us. We can share it so long as we can sit and talk. And there is nothing difficult. I have come to realize that you can sit and talk, and we can make the country better than where we are. The major issue is this country is not for us. We are keeping it for the new generation, and we should leave it better for the new generation to come, for our children and for our grandchildren. And that is a message to the country.
Honorable Anthony Akol, Member of Parliament for Kilak North, who is now going back this time on the NRM ticket to go first battle in the NRM primaries. From here, the Hotseat, we wish you luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Moses, for all the wise contributions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And Moses, before we go off, I also, in a minute, your concluding remark.
My concluding remark is that I welcome Honorable Akol and others, because there are many others who, from Acholi sub-region, members of parliament, who have agreed to work with NRM. Others even want to come as independents, but working closely with NRM. we shall welcome all of them. As I said, NRA, Uganda is for all of us. Anybody can make a contribution. In NRM, there is no senior, there is no junior. We are all equal before within the NRM as a party. So don't think that, how would I work with the Moseses who have been there for all this time? No. At any time you come in, we are equal.
All right.
Yeah.
Mr. Moses Byarhanga, Senior Presidential Advisor, thank you so much. Earlier it was Anthony Akol we had online, Member of Parliament for Clark North. We thank him. But also, more importantly, you, the listener, we want to thank you for the privilege of your company. Good night and God bless Uganda.